Hi, my name is Calvin Young. We are going to be focusing on cleaning up the KSI seed treating equipment today. We will focus on the drum, the atomizer, and the liquid stands, and the procedures on how to clean up the equipment. So after the end discharge is removed from the KSI applicator, you have a 30-inch opening that you can access the inside of the drum from. So a couple things that you can do is scrape these end discharge paddles with a putty knife. What helps is spraying Simple Green on the paddles themselves, let it soak in a little bit, and then it will be easier to scrape off. So that is the first process you can do before you start running any other process through, such as pressure washing or running pea gravel through. We recommend at KSI is you can dump a clean pea gravel in and then use a gallon of Simple Green and about 5 gallons of water, a little less. The goal is to make sure the end of the drum is actually jacked up so the drum is level from front to back. You will turn it at around 10% to 15% speed, and then just ensure that as it comes around that there's not too much spillage. What we would recommend is sliding under a container to contain any spillage. We're standing on the inlet side of the applicator, and we've removed the chute, and what we've done is we've sprayed it down and helped the Simple Green solution break down the chemical treatment, and then we've used a putty knife or a scraper to scrape that chemical buildup free of the atomizer chute. So once we get the main buildup off, what we do is we spray it again to remove that chemical film, and then we wipe it down with a shop towels. That usually cleans up the stainless steel chute really nicely. From there, we focus on the upper side of this atomizer. There's some chemical blowback that can go up the sides of it. Do the same process as we spray Simple Green on the chemical buildup. We use the scrapers again, and then we collect it with this container. Once we do that, we can just go ahead and wipe it down with a paper towel to clean off the sidewalls of the atomizer. After that is done, the chemical manifold can be removed and taken apart. The fittings can be removed, and it's soaked in a Simple Green and water using a bottle brush to clean out the pores. So with the design of the manifold, it can build up a lot of chemical in there, and that would be considered a point where you could plug up. And then we also have a valve underneath the manifold that allows you to drain out any excess chemical after you're done. So that may be right before you break down that chemical manifold itself. And then the last process, you will use a Simple Green and water solution, put it into a tank if you have some poly tanks. If you have a keg coupler, you can actually pour that Simple Green and water into a 5-gallon bucket that you can use to suck that out and then pump it in to the atomizer, and there's 4 ports. You just want to make sure that you're seeing that chemical flush out those ports. So the last step of this seed treating cleaning process is cleaning the liquid stands up. So there's a couple points that you'll need to focus on to make sure you flush it completely to clean it up for next season. First is you could have a variety of sources. You could either have a tank source, which you could dump the Simple Green and water solution in, or you could have a keg source, which you would dump that solution into a 5-gallon bucket, for example, to flush the systems. You would want to use your control system and turn on the pump and use that solution to flush out the system of it, free of any chemical. Second is once you flush the system with that solution, removing the filter and pulling out the screen to clean that up, because that's where we're collecting all the excess. If there's chunks or if there's any buildup in there, that's where it'll settle to. And then the calibration tube can be removed. There's 3 wing nuts that you can remove off of the bolts. You can slide that out, use Simple Green and water and spray it out and wipe it out with a heavy-duty rag. Once you have that cleaned up, you could go ahead and reinstall it so you're ready for next season. This procedure is a good practice to help reduce early season breakdowns and for winterization. KSI also recommends that all wastewater is disposed of according to local regulations.